I showed up to my brother's wedding only to find out it happened a week ago, and that they never wanted me there. How did my own family erase me? Hey there, thanks for stopping by today. Before we dive into the story, how are you feeling? I'd love it if you shared your thoughts or experiences in the comments. It really helps us connect. Today's story is about someone facing a deeply painful family situation, one that might hit close to home for many of us. Have you ever been through something like this, or felt the kind of invisible struggle? Stick around till the end to see how Emily, our main character, finds her strength and takes control of her life. And if you enjoy these stories, don't forget to subscribe so I can keep bringing you more. Thanks a lot for being here.
Have you ever had your entire world turn upside down because of one simple piece of paper? That's exactly what happened to me. My name is Emily Carter, and growing up, my family was complicated. My parents, David and Karen, loved my older brother Ryan in ways I never quite understood. I was always the quiet one, the one who blended into the background, unseen, unheard. For years, I accepted that as my reality. So when the wedding invitation arrived in the mail last month, elegant gold letters on thick cardstock, I was shocked. It was addressed to me. Ryan was getting married. The date? May 15th. The venue, a stunning lakeside garden nestled in the city. I allowed myself to believe this might be a turning point, a chance to finally belong. I started planning immediately. The perfect dress, the perfect gift, a hair appointment, even a manicure. For once, I felt like maybe I wasn't invisible. But deep down, something nagged at me. My Aunt Margaret, the only family member who ever seemed to truly care, gave me a cautious smile. "I'm proud of you, Em," she said quietly. "But be ready for anything." That night, the weight of that photo album crushed me more than I ever imagined possible. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, mind replaying every image in slow motion. Each photo was a stark reminder. Smiles that didn't include me, laughter that didn't echo with my voice, moments frozen in time where I was deliberately absent. I felt like a ghost haunting a celebration that should have been mine to share. The invitation had sparked a fragile hope inside me, a chance to finally be part of something, part of them. But that hope was snuffed out before it even fully ignited. I couldn't shake the question hammering in my thoughts. How could they do this? How could they plan a day so important, so full of promise and joy, and consciously exclude me? Was I really that insignificant? Or was it something deeper? A family secret I was never meant to uncover? I started scrolling through Ryan's wedding photos on social media, unable to look away. Each image was like a story told without me, friends laughing. The sun setting over the garden, the first dance, Megan glowing with happiness. And everyone who mattered was there. Everyone, except me. I remembered past family gatherings, the times I wasn't invited, the times my calls went unanswered. The memory of Thanksgiving was the sharpest pain. I had sat quietly at the corner of a crowded room, the laughter and conversations swirling around me like an impenetrable fog. Ryan was at the center, commanding attention, and I was invisible. I left early that night, carrying a heavy, aching emptiness that no one saw. Now, seeing those wedding photos, it all felt like confirmation, a cruel testament to what I already knew but had spent years denying. I reached out to Aunt Margaret, my one ally in the family. Her voice on the phone was gentle, yet firm. "Emily, you need to be ready. Tomorrow is going to be harder than you think." The next morning, the sky was a leaden gray, heavy with the threat of rain, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. Margaret drove me through winding country roads to the family's cottage, a place heavy with memories both good and bad. The air was thick and still, the silence between us filled with unspoken fears and quiet determination. We parked on the gravel driveway and walked up the narrow path to the front door. From inside, I could hear laughter light, carefree, so foreign to my ears. The sound of glasses clinking and joyful voices floated through the open windows. This was the world I'd been shut out from, just beyond that door. Margaret's hand was warm on my arm. "Are you sure?" she asked softly. I swallowed, steeling myself. "I have to." The door opened abruptly, revealing my mother's face, wide-eyed with surprise and something darker lurking beneath. Behind her stood my father, Ryan, and Megan, all frozen in shock. Their eyes bore into me with a mix of confusion and cold calculation. Ryan's voice was clipped, almost weary. "What are you doing here?" My throat tightened, but I forced the words out. "I know about the wedding." Their faces shifted, my mother's lips pressed into a thin line, her eyes flickering with something I couldn't name. Guilt? Resentment? Shame? "You're here to cause trouble," she said quietly. I took a step forward, holding my ground. "I'm here because I was lied to. You sent me an invitation with the wrong date. The wedding happened a week ago. You didn't want me there. You think this is cruelty? We didn't want you there. You make everything awkward." My chest tightened painfully. "Awkward? You shut me out. You erased me." My father's voice was defensive, cold. I wanted to scream, to run, to disappear. But I stood still because a small, stubborn part of me still hoped that family meant more than this. Why send me the wrong date? Why pretend I don't exist? The silence was suffocating. Then Margaret's voice cut through, calm but heavy with truth, because it was easier than facing what's really broken here. Suddenly, I wasn't just the invisible daughter anymore. I was the fault line, the crack no one dared admit. That day shattered me. But beneath the ruins, something fierce was born. I wasn't the helpless girl they thought I was. Behind my quiet exterior was a woman who'd built a life, a career in digital marketing, smart investments, and a secret history of financially supporting this family without thanks. This was my power, and I was ready to claim it. The morning I handed my father the eviction notice felt like both an ending and a beginning, the closing of a chapter written in neglect and pain, and the first page of a story I would finally write for myself. The family cottage, nestled between towering pines and blanketed in early morning mist, had been a refuge of sorts for me as a child. It held echoes of laughter, whispered arguments, and countless moments that shaped the fractured tapestry of my family. Standing on its creaking porch that day, I felt the ghosts of those memories pressing in on me, but beneath them, a fierce resolve was taking root. My lawyer, Mark Stevens, stood beside me, a pillar of calm and professionalism. His presence reminded me that this was no longer just a family dispute. It was a boundary I was setting to protect my very sense of self. My father's hands trembled as he took the official documents from me, his usually steady gaze wavering. The lines on his face deepened, etched with years of regret and silent apologies that had never found words. "This is our home," he said, voice low and cracked with emotion. I met his eyes squarely, my voice steady. "It's my property now. I allowed you to live here, but that permission has been revoked." Behind him, my mother appeared, her face a mask of disbelief and hurt. "You're kicking us out," she whispered, the tremor in her voice betraying her shock. I nodded, my heart pounding, but my resolve unshaken. "I'm reclaiming my life. This is the line I'm drawing." The silence that followed was thick, a heavy curtain falling between us. I could almost hear the years of unspoken tension crackling in the air, the unhealed wounds of neglect and exclusion laid bare in that quiet moment. Turning away from the cottage, I felt a strange mix of liberation and grief. I was severing the last physical tie to the family that had repeatedly turned its back on me, but in doing so, I was carving out space for myself, for healing, for growth. The weeks that followed were a blur of work and self-discovery. I immersed myself in my career with a newfound passion, throwing myself into projects that challenged me and teams that valued me. The digital marketing firm I worked for became more than just a job, it was my sanctuary. A place where my voice mattered and my contributions were recognized. Behind the scenes, I managed my investments carefully, a portfolio of rental properties I'd acquired over the years, each one a silent testament to my determination and foresight. The monthly rental income was a quiet but powerful reminder that I was capable, independent, and in control of my destiny. Meanwhile, Lisa Monroe, my attorney, navigated the complexities of restraining orders and financial disentanglement with relentless efficiency. Every court filing, every official letter was a brick laid in the foundation of my new life. The legal barriers we erected protected me from the emotional storms my family had brewed for years. But freedom was not without its price. My phone buzzed incessantly with messages, some angry, some pleading. Ryan accused me of tearing the family apart. My mother's texts were filled with accusations of greed and heartlessness. "You've abandoned us," they said. "You don't care anymore." For the first time, I didn't reply. I refused to engage in their blame games. I realized that defending my worth to those who never recognized it was a battle I would never win. Then came the day they showed up at my office. I was sitting at my desk, reviewing campaign data, when the receptionist told me my parents were here to see me. My stomach tightened. They looked nothing like the people I remembered. Their faces were etched with exhaustion, their posture slumped under the weight of their struggles. Ryan's confident swagger was gone, replaced by a vulnerability I hadn't seen before. Megan was no longer by his side. Their marriage had crumbled, a whispered casualty of their fractured family. They asked for forgiveness, for help, for a chance to mend what was broken. For a fleeting moment, the old Emily, the girl who desperately wanted to belong, stirred within me. I remembered the years of quiet support, the money I'd given without recognition, the calls I answered when no one else did, but Aunt Margaret's voice echoed in my mind. Family isn't just blood. It's love, respect, kindness. Looking at them, I said softly but firmly, "I'm sorry. I can't go back to how things were." My mother's tears were genuine, and my father's apology was heartfelt, but the damage ran too deep, and the wounds too fresh. The following months were a time of rebuilding and reflection. My career soared as I took on more responsibility, leading a team that valued my input and celebrated my successes. I cultivated friendships that brought joy and support, relationships based on mutual respect and care. The quiet rituals of my new life, Sunday calls with Aunt Margaret, weekend hikes with friends, evenings spent curled up with a book in my cozy apartment became anchors of peace and stability. Sometimes, I catch myself wondering if reconciliation will ever come. Maybe someday. When the wounds have healed and the mistakes fully faced, I might open the door again. But if that day arrives, it will be on my terms with boundaries firmly in place, built on respect and equality. For now, I've learned the most vital lesson. My worth is not measured by the acceptance of those who refuse to see me. It is measured by the love, respect, and dignity I afford myself. And that truth, unshakable and empowering, has transformed my life.
Thank you so much for listening to my story all the way through. If this journey resonated with you, or if you have your own thoughts and feelings about what I've shared, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you found value in this story, remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you won't miss the next chapter or any new stories coming your way. Your support means the world to me and helps keep these stories alive. Until next time, take care and keep believing in your own strength.